Alright, we're going to try this again. This is the kind of gear review I talked about in my last video. Going to try to go through some of this stuff relatively quickly. This is the amp, Crate GT212, 120 watts, two 12-inch speakers, two different drive channels, though I don't really use those. I just kind of run my amps clean and use my pedal board for gain and stuff like that. I think the Crate line is a really underrated line. This cost me about $50 at Guitar Center. My first amp was a Crate. It was a little 6 or 8 inch 10-watt amp. I've had Marshalls, I've had Fenders. I really like the Crate line. I think they're great. Pardon the lame rhyming. Moving on to the pedal board. The board itself is actually just a piece of wood from Home Depot with some fabric and padding on it that my wife made. A little bit of Velcro on the pedal board and the back of the pedals. DC power brick. Wah is the Dunlop Zakk Wylde wah. I've had a Crybaby from Hell. I've had Voxes, other off-market. Had that for years. I don't really use it too much, but if I do any like lead work or soloing, I'll use this to kind of brighten up the sound and a little bit of volume boost too, I think, but that's just me. And then Boss RC20 loop station, again used from like a Guitar Center. I don't really use this playing out much, but if I'm home playing by myself, I will use that to kind of just lay down a rhythm and kind of do some work over it. And yeah, so that's the amps and the pedals. I mean, if anything, I would want to through this video show you that gear doesn't really have to be expensive to be good. And on the internet, videos are just kind of step by steps. I think total it cost me less than $30 to make, and that's it took me about a half hour to cut and put together. So rather than going to shell out like over $100 at like Guitar Center or Musician's Friend or something like that, just make one yourself. And moving on to the guitars, we're going to start with the acoustic. I don't really play acoustic too much, but every guitar player needs one or two laying around. This is a Mitchell, and I was actually given $10 to take this out of Guitar Center, and I had an extra amp and some pedals kicking around in like a 20% off or $20 off coupon or something, and traded in. Guitar Center actually gave me $10 to walk out with it. I've had a Mitchell before. I sold it or traded it. Needed another one and liked it. I think knew these things run for like $110, $120. Sounds good. I like it because it's got binding on the neck. I'm kind of an anal and like my guitars to have binding on the neck. So that's the acoustic. And moving on to the one I just did the video on. This is the Honeyburst Chinese Custom. Talked a little bit about it in the last video. Again, like 230, 240 shipped. They're great guitars if you're going to do some work to them. If you guys can see the flame on that, it's pretty sweet. I'm going to change the pickups maybe and just maybe change the nut on it. Other than that, like, the thing is pretty good. You know, these tuners, I know people have had some problems with them, but these stay in tune pretty well. Yeah, made in USA. There's your one of your dead giveaways. That scarf joint, and yeah, and then they got the infamous sticker. So yeah, you know, again, really great guitar for the money. You know, you can pretty much, you know, if you get the right seller, you can pretty much customize them and have them say anything on it. Next one is, if you guys get a chance to find one of these, I've actually got two of them. This is by a company called Galileo. And again, Les Paul, kind of single cutaway. I'm going to change the pickups on there. I took the covers off, but I'm going to put some white ones in there with some white pickup rings. Nice, you know, kind of amber flame top to it. Ebony fretboard, and I think this ran me, I actually traded this one for another guitar I had, because I have the black one, and I'll show you that in a minute. And, hey Maz, say hi to Maslow, everyone. Thanks, Maz. And, again, you know, double bound, set neck. I saw one of these, I saw a black one in the guitar shop down the road from me going for about $225, so they're not bad at all, and they're great guitars. This one is SX. Got this from Rondo Music in New Hampshire. You know, wine red, single cut Les Paul. I changed the pickups to Dragonfire Screamers from eBay. I think the set ran me like $30. You know, and they're not really bad at all. You know, pretty simple, plain wine red top. Again, double bound, set neck. This one is a little bit lighter. You know, again, there's that scarf joint there. This one's a little bit lighter. It's mahogany, but it says it's mahogany, but it's it's lighter in comparison to some of the other ones. This one kind of almost has like a nice little semi-hollow sound to it. I am trying to sell it, so if anyone knows anyone, you know, just message me about it. This is the other Galileo that I mentioned. Again, if you guys find one of these, pick them up. They're great. Ebony fretboard, double bound top and back, set neck. Again, I've never had any issue with the tuners on these. You know, simple setup. It's pretty original to when I got it, except for a couple things I'll show you. You can see like kind of like that black translucent flame top to it. The pickups I changed. These are DiMarzios. This is a Super Distortion in the Tone Zone. And you guys see the skulls. These are just some knobs I picked up, you know, from eBay by Dreadmeister. I thought they were cool. Put them on this one. And again, this is kind of the sister to the other one. I got this one first, and then I got the other one. Again, I got this one in trade too. But again, they're not expensive. I saw it in a store near me going for like, you know, like I said, $220, $225. And then this is the other Chinese custom I picked up. This is the camo. I don't know if you can see that. Zach Wild camo bullseye. Everything is stock on this except for the nut and the tuners. The pickups, I think they're EMG HZs. Again, a really good guitar. Don't really have any issue with it except for the neck is really fat on this one. I don't really do much lead work on this one. I just kind of play rhythm on this one. Gold Bing tuners I had to put on there. I think if you can see that. I think that's hilarious with the, you know, the autograph or whatever it is. You can really see the scarf joint on these ones, you know, because it's the plain neck. But again, really good guitar. This one's got some weight to it. This thing is like, I want to say maybe close to 10 pounds. And then on to the last one. Whoops. This one is my legitimate 78 custom Gibson Les Paul. I picked this up off of eBay for like $600, and it's awesome. I love it. It wasn't original pickups. It was like some off-market ones. I put real EMGs, the 8185s in there. It didn't have strap buttons on it, and I'm a big Zakk Wylde fan, so I put the eye hooks there and there. And it just needs a little fret job. I'm going to be doing that in a couple of weeks, maybe just kind of leveling some of the frets and just kind of getting them back, because it frets out in a couple spots on the high E. There's the back. I don't know if you can see the made in the USA or anything. Not original tuners. These are the same tuners that came with it when I bought it, like almost like 13 years ago. Back of it, I got to get a new back plate. That's getting a little roached up, but it's really worn, and I think it gives it character. But yeah, that's the number one right there. Hi, Maz. Maslow saying hi again. But yeah, that's the gear. And shoot me some comments. Let me know what you think. Thanks.